What's up, guys? This is Doctor, and welcome to another episode of FPL Fantasy. It's a double game week coming up with a blank game week and coming up with another double game week and another double game week. So it's an opportunity to discuss all that within this episode. A lot of people are taking hits, and as usual, I'm joined by Joe. Joe, how are you?
I'm feeling good. I didn't have the best of a game week, but I dropped, I don't know, like 50,000. And I'm just enjoying watching everybody talk about all these hits that they're taking, and I'm sitting here with, I could probably do a -4, but we'll get into that once we take a look at my team.
Right. Let me take you back for a second here. Who are you blaming this game week for getting a red arrow?
Who am I blaming this game week for getting a red arrow? Okay, so there's a laundry list of people. Basically, it's everybody that is good besides Rashford. Mahrez for getting benched because he's a bad boy. Holland because he's god awful now. And Katia because he's bad too, I guess. Walker because he actually started a game week. Trippier because he's like my new Cabby James, where he just gets one pointers all the time. But like Kane and Rashford and Odegaard, they're good though. Those guys are good. Oh, and Kepa. Kepa only got 2 points. He didn't even get bonus. What's he even doing? Why is he playing?
I didn't hear Madison's name.
Yeah, because Madison was the throw out there where if it worked, I looked like a genius, and if it didn't work, it was kind of like, okay. To be fair, they controlled that whole first half, and they should have gotten plenty of goals. But for some reason, everybody thought Barnes could score, so they played to Barnes.
Fair enough. So everybody except your transfer, right?
Yeah, I rest my case.
Like this reminds me of a meme. I'll put it on the screen right now, which is basically like Arsenal hurting themselves. So yeah, I'll put it. It's extremely funny. But yeah, transfer didn't work out for you as usual. Three segments for this episode. Segment one is transfers and how we're gonna navigate the double game weeks, kind of players to bring, who to target, who not to target, the watch list. And the next discussion will be a good discussion is the captaincy because we have two, three options, not Haaland automatic captaincy anymore. And last thing we're gonna show our teams, and usually funnily we discuss mostly whenever we reveal our teams because this is kind of a conversation starter, so it's going to be good. Stay with us, enjoy, and if you do, drop a thumbs up, subscribe. We stopped gaining subscribers, Joe. Do we do something about that?
No, we just yell at people till they subscribe.
Fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. I'll leave the yelling to you, and let's get into the first segment, transfers. So let's say three top transfers to bring in this game week. Who are you suggesting, Joe?
Well, you're not going to like my top three because it doesn't have Salah in it. So I would say first off, Arsenal attackers. Don't bring in a defender, especially right now. They're not playing very well. I mean, bring in Odegaard, maybe Nketiah, do Saka for sure. If you want something a little spicy this week, Martinelli. Even if he doesn't start, let's be honest, Martinelli coming off the bench is dangerous. It's very reminiscent of Smith Rowe, last year when he came off the bench and he scored like 6 games in a row, and I was rubbing it in everybody's face. So Arsenal attackers, number one. I know that counts as like 10 transfers, but I'm putting it as one. Then I think Gekpo, because he has one of the highest. Well, no, he actually has the highest XGI in Liverpool's team, and I feel like he's kind of a sleeper pick right now, and he's getting better and better as the game weeks go on. You see him meshing with the team better, getting more comfortable, and he's getting returns. I know. What about what?
Allow me to interrupt you here. What's the time frame for the highest XGI for Gakpo? Is it like
Oh,
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I don't remember. It was like 20 days ago when I last checked. No, not 20 days ago. So let me see. Probably like the last 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly what the thing was that I was looking at, but
Right,
yeah, he was like through the roof. So almost like
right.
every game that he's played, because he got like a .81, a .94, .09, brings it down a little bit, .9. and then 0.09 again. So
And now I see it. Like in the last four, he outscored XGI of Salah by about 0.3. Let me check Darwin. I didn't know that actually. That's a good spot.
yeah,
I usually do my homework, but I didn't know that. Yeah.
he's a little insane. So that's why I'm looking at him and I'm like, this is the man. And then I know everybody's like, but what about Darwin Nunez? Darwin Nunez has the XGI, but doesn't get the returns. Yes, he has gotten a return or two the last couple game weeks, but we've seen Darwin play. That's luck. It's 100% luck. The man he didn't even hit the right end of the field. He was shooting it against his own goalkeeper. And Allison probably would let him go through looking at the last couple games, right? Well, the Real Madrid game. And then number 3, I'm going to bundle them together. I think Robbo or Trent are a good one. Trent is starting to get back into that old form that we know and love. He got an assist taken away. I think out of the two, Robbo is probably your best one to go with. He's having a little bit of unluckiness where he's performing really well. If I remember right, his numbers are actually better than Trent's. And he's just not getting the same finishing off of some of his crosses, his passes, whatever. I would go with Robbo over Trent. A lot of people are going to go Trent over Robbo. I like the man. I like the man. You know, you want risk, you want reward. I'll give you basic picks with a little bit of risk in it. And so everybody knows, there is 2 players before Salah also, and that's Everton defenders. So I gave you 4 to 5 options, Doc, when you asked for 3. But I know people are going to wonder where Salah is, so he's over there. It's like a Where Was Waldo game. You're not really sure, but he is there still.
Well, I would like to disagree with some points. The main point is being Salah. Salah for me is first choice. He's priority transfer this game week. He's probably the second favorite captain. We're going to talk about the captaincy later on. I would say Salah, number 1. Saka, if you don't have him, number 2. And probably, and it will sound funny, Tarkowski. So I'm trying to pick players rather than teams like you did. So Tarkowski has a great attacking threat. I got him in last game week. I started him with Joe's advice as well, despite other advices that told me to bench him. But I started him and he outscored my whole bench combined. So it was a great transfer and everybody's flocking in to get him in now. I think he's rising in price tonight. So when you're watching this video, if you want him in and you don't want to lose 0.1 value, you might as well transfer him in tonight. So I would say those 3 are my top transfers. I checked the statistics. You're absolutely right. In the last 4, Robertson outscores Trent on the XGI department, but I still prefer Trent because of the 1 free kick here, 1 corner, 1 assist here, and Trent is ahead. So statistically, Robo on the last 4 played better. Also a bit less competition on the right-hand side for Trent. Robertson has Tsimikas. You always feel like all of a sudden Tsimikas might get a game, but on the same time, probably no, because Liverpool almost have nothing to play for except the league now. They're out of all domestic cups. They're virtually out of the Champions League, except for a miracle. So yeah, they will concentrate on the league, and I don't see much rotation happening from now on, except for maybe for the front line. That's why the front line is a bit a dodgy place to be. I prefer Darwin ahead of Gakpo because of the expected minutes. I feel Gakpo is more rotation risk, the big money transfer. Nunez, and he can play on the left and he can play as striker. Same does Gakpo, but I feel there are less options to replace Nunez's style of playing over Gakpo. So I think Nunez has more chance of getting more minutes. So I prefer Nunez in this case. So kind of the order is different, but yeah, I absolutely agree. Odegaard, if you don't have Nketiah, if you have him, just stay, pray, because his XGI is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And he's just not converting, similar to Nunez. And we've all had him for a while now, and it's a bit frustrating, but I would keep him for now and then see when Gabriel Jesus is back, which is supposed to be within the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks max. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, for me, those are the top transfers. Also, keep in mind, go to FPL.team. That's what I did, like basically whole of today, and I just tried to see how my team works, with or without players. And you will see in my team reveal, I'm confused between few options. Not many people helped last game week, so I hope you can help me with and give me your opinion. And kind of Darwin, despite taking an extra hit, will work for my team better for game week 27, 28, and 29 going forward than Gakpo. So, yeah. I kind of threw up all my information, but that's my thoughts.
Yeah, don't worry, Doc. I'll tell you exactly what to do, and it'll work. It'll be perfect, just like last week. The one warning tag that I want to put on here, or just extra information, is all of the people that I had mentioned in my transfers, including, I know people are going to think it's going to hurt me to say, but including Salah, I see getting at least one return this week. Whether that's a clean sheet for defenders only, not talking about midfielders getting their one extra point, but for defenders, or an assist or goal for attackers plus defenders. There's at least one attacking return that I see out of all of those people that I mentioned. So it's not like, oh, Joe doesn't think Salah can score. No, I know Salah can score, but I'm not, and nothing against you, Doc. Maybe more against the people on Twitter that I don't talk to directly every day. So it's not an offense thing, but the rose-colored glasses on Salah being like, yeah, but I mean, he hasn't gotten a hat trick yet this year. This week's the week, and it's like, no, he's probably going to get one return guaranteed. He might get a second. Cool. I'm not worried about it because I feel like everybody else that I brought in can do that plus more.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Salah hasn't been the same this season. The expectations are quite high on him. So I see your point. But for me, Salah at the end. One penalty, all of a sudden he's on 3 bonus. Hopefully, because Nunez will miss most of the big chances, which will push Salah to the higher on the bonus ladder. So yeah, for me, it's a priority is Salah. I already brought him in, by the way. I transferred him last night before his price rise, and I still have to do a couple of transfers, which we're going to discuss in our team reveal. Should we move on to the captaincy pick?
Sure. Let's do it.
Who are you captaining, Joe?
Right now, I got it thrown on Nketiah. XGI is insane. If he can just get on the end of one of them, I guarantee it's like an 18-goal double game week. Not actually. I'm realistic. I know it's not 18 goals before everybody comes at me. But it's just insane. He's getting right into those positions that you want your attackers to get into. The balls are coming across, and it's just, comes off the shoe wrong. Defender gets in the way and just like nicks it a little bit to direct the angle. So, he hits it wrong. Like it's unfortunate. He's not getting the returns, but the numbers are there. He'll come good. I'm not worried about it. I also think you could probably go with Odegaard. Odegaard's looked good the last couple weeks, getting numbers, and he's a magician. He can slot the ball almost anywhere for somebody. Then Saka, Gakpo, Salah. There you go.
That's your order. I think most people will, and the Twitter polls show that it's going to be probably Salah or Saka. If you had the choice, who would you go for?
Saka.
All right. And would you like to elaborate on that?
No, that's my case. No. So I mean, really, if you look at Arsenal's fixtures, they have Leicester and Everton. They're, as we saw this last game, played phenomenal in the first half. Basically, it feels like if you can put up a strong enough defense in that first half, you can survive, and the floodgates will open with Leicester right now. And good teams are doing that. So you have Arsenal versus Leicester. Saka's feeling it, despite my opinion of some lucky goals. But, they all count. Then Everton. Everton's going to be a little bit more of a defensive stronghold, but the thing that Arsenal have going for them against Everton is, even though, good old Dyche pack in a little bit, close down some angles, Arsenal is more or less young, energetic, and a very creative team, especially in their attacking half. If anybody is going to be able to break down and open up some holes in a tight, compact defense, it's going to be a team like Arsenal. Then you go over, you look at Liverpool. Crystal Palace. Haven't been the Crystal Palace of old days. I still think that they're a better quality defense than Leicester, and I think that they have a fixture that is going to more closely cater to their defensive style, whatever that is this year. Nobody knows exactly. Than Everton has versus Arsenal, and then Wolves are they're struggling, trying to find their form again defensively. They're feeling I don't know, I guess a little bit better. And, you know, as much as I would like to see everybody that brought in Wolves players just get absolutely destroyed, I think Wolves are, once again, a better defensive asset than Leicester and have a better fixture to defend against than Everton.
Funnily, I don't disagree with any of this. I am almost sure that I'm gonna captain Salah, right? But after doing some homework and listening to what you're saying, and I brought the statistics back up, in the last 4 game weeks, Saka absolutely demolishes Salah when it comes to statistics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, he's cheaper, higher XG, higher XA, so higher XGI naturally. So you have that higher baseline BPS, so he's more likely to get bonus over Salah, more penalty area touches, more goal attempts. So Saka has much better stats, and he takes corners every once in a while as well. So he has much better stats. Also, having said that, I agree with you. Saka's fixtures are slightly, in my opinion, better than Salah's. Leicester away, Everton at home. I prefer that over Crystal Palace away, Wolves at home. It's a tight one. And I think also the safer option, the template option, will probably be Saka captaincy, because most people have Saka, more people have Saka, and probably will have Saka over Salah. So there is more likelihood of people captaining Saka over Salah. So when it comes to effective ownership, I think Saka will be very close to Salah, but I think Saka will be higher. So finally, the safe option is Saka. I might go with a gut feel. With Salah, I have this gut feeling about it. I like Salah. We enjoyed his adventures in the FPL for the past few years, and it's a bit nostalgic. Might change to Saka last minute, but for now, I'm currently on Salah. So most people will captain those. I see the point of captaining in Nketiah, but Saka on penalties sways it for me. 1 penalty, and Saka is much ahead. A point for clean sheet, an extra point for a goal. I would probably prefer the midfielder at this point. But I see the point of Nketiah. I absolutely see it. So, yeah, let us know who you're captaining in the next game week.
And I was just gonna say, I disagree on the highest captaincy. I think it'll probably be Salah, and I think it'll be Salah because of, you know, past adventures with Salah. And he drives up to your house and he's like,
yeah.
"Get in, nerds! We're going to get points." And everybody jumps in and packs the car. I think that's what's going to happen, honestly. I think Saka is the smarter pick. I think Salah is the, you know, well, I watched this TV show when I was a kid, so it's good. And you watch it and you're like, wow, what was wrong with me? Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, I see the point. I think Salah will be more captained. It depends on the context you take it. Probably more captained than the top 10K. But when you take the combined ownership, so the effective ownership, I think Saka will be higher. But if you take captaincy percentages, yeah, probably Salah will be higher. But yeah, EO probably is going to be Saka. That's my prediction. But it's going to be close, absolutely close.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to our team reviews, which usually turns out to be a 30 minutes discussion. Joe, let's start with your team. You've already done one transfer. What are your plans?
Yeah, so I got rid of March. I brought in Gakpo. Everything that I said in the transfer, everything that I said, I didn't say anything in captaincy, but if I did, that's also a reason why I brought him in. But yeah, we talked about it. I'm sitting on Nketiah with the captaincy. The issue that I have is I wanted Gakpo over Salah, and in order to get Saka, I would have had to have taken out Saliba and taken out Marsh. And then if I wanted to feel confident about my starting 11, I would also have to take out Patterson. So that would have put me by default on a -8 there. And that seemed like too much moving around for the current situation. Yes, I know it's basically a zero because it feels like almost everybody is going to be taking some sort of hit, at least a -8. It feels like my -4 is like tame and preserved and not risky at all, and I'm like kind of feel weird about it and gross. I don't like that. Yeah, Brett and Gekpo. I am thinking about moving on Patterson just to feel something. I might bring in Coleman because I don't know. He's been the last 3 game weeks. He's been up there, not as far as XGI, XG, XA, those type of statistics. But I mean, he's returning points exactly the same as Tarkowski. Tarkowski, he has more of the free kicks, the set pieces. He's got the XGI to fit in with him, but XGI isn't everything. It helps. It makes things maybe a little bit easier if you have a 50-50, but Coleman just feels fun right now. And if even if he has a little luck on his side and he's performing with Tarkowski, sure, why not? Bring him in. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy a little bit. So that's probably my move. Tarkowski's probably the safer move. Then, maybe I thought for a second about Robbo, but I'm like, I don't want to bring in another Liverpool player right now. I'm not very high on Liverpool. Like, they're playing a lot better. They're getting their injuries back, those type of things. I will be late to the bandwagon. I will tell you that. You guys go ahead and I'll catch up. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, nothing's really changed. Walker, hopefully he plays. Whatever if he doesn't. 11 players on paper, maybe 10 at the end of the game week.
Can I suggest something that might be like it's a Joe transfer? You will like it. So if you don't want to go Tarkowski, that's why you're going Coleman, because you want to be the cool guy, right? I have another cool guy.
No, I'm not getting Salah.
Suggestion for you.
I'm not getting Salah.
It's not going to be Salah. So if we're going to restrict it with one transfer, how about Patterson to Van Dijk?
This is the thing. He feels like not only because he's a Liverpool player, but he feels like Liverpool of this season. Where if it was last season, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I'm all for it. This season, I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel very comfortable with any of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If I were you, then I would just do Patterson to Tarkowski, because you don't want to move things around, right? So because you have the option of going Kane to Darwin and upgrading Mahrez, for example. That's an option. Maddison, I still don't think is a great pick, although he's playing at home, but yeah, you can upgrade Maddison. Those are the possibilities I'm looking at, but you seem like adamant that you don't want to move a lot or take a bigger hit, so I would just do Patterson to Tarkowski, but I know tomorrow night I'm going to receive a picture from you seeing Coleman in there and probably captain.
Nah, maybe not captain. Maybe vice captain, but not captain.
Yeah, not that bad, yeah.
I'm not that risky.
All right. Well, I wish you all the luck, and let's move on to my team, Joe.
Yep.
Right. So, I've done a transfer. Salah is in. He has the captaincy for now, but this video recording kind of messed with my brain. That's why I enjoy those video recordings, because we articulate, we suggest, and we debate. And I realize a couple of the things, like tonight, I'll be on bed and thinking a couple of the things I mentioned in the video don't make sense, and it's kind of, I can change my opinion, and all of a sudden you see Saka captaincy. But yeah, Salah is captaincy now. I've tinkered a lot. And let's start with chip strategy. It seems like the blank game week of 28 is an inevitable free hit for me. I just don't have enough players to cover that game week, no matter what transfers I do. Especially we're going to bring Brighton players and Brentford players in game week 27. Who blank in game week 28? So I'll probably have like 5 players in game week 28, so I'm gonna free hit. So that's it. Chip strategy is decided. Probably I will not wildcard yet or bench boost until game week 33 and 34. This is when we have a better game week for the big teams, double game week for the big teams. But free hit is inevitable, so I'm working on that. So when I decided that free hit is game week 28, that means I need to attack this game week, 26 is a normal game week, no doubles or blanks. Then 27, Brighton and Brentford players. And then 29, I can do some luxury transfers because free hit in game week 28. Now, after doing the Salah transfer, I wanted to bring one more Liverpool to have 11 players in my team. For a -4, for one hit, I can just simply do Luke Shaw to Trent Alexander-Arnold and I'm done. However, tinkering and playing with the team, and like I said, on FPL.team you can see how your team is progression. In order to get Mitoma and in order to get Tony, it will be easier structurally for me to get Darwin this game week. And in order to fund Darwin for a Nyonto who's playing, which is a bit crazy to remove a player who's playing this game week. So I remove Nyonto, I bring Darwin, and I fund it through downgrading Bruno Fernandes. So if I downgrade Bruno Fernandes, I have two options, either McNeil or Gakpo. And this is the debate I'm having. Do I triple up on Liverpool, bring Darwin for Nyonto, and bring Gakpo for Bruno, or instead bring McNeil? This is one of the decisions I'm going to make. I preferred, honestly, just to take one hit, -4 instead of a -8 for the second option, and bring Trent Alexander-Arnold instead of doing all this. But like I said, team structure looks better to get Mitoma later on if I just go the second option and take an extra hit this game week. Especially, Darwin will double again in 29. So those are my thoughts.
Don't bring Nunez. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself.
I don't want to.
Don't. If you want to take two hits, all you got to do is bring in Gakpo and bring in Trent. There you go. You just blew two hits. You actually will get points on those transfers. If you don't have to take two hits, you can bring in Trent or you can bring in Gakpo. If you start talking about bringing in Darwin, the double game week has got you. The double game week has its claws around you, and you're like, but two fixtures to one. And it's like, no, you're forgetting the man doesn't hit the goal. So it's like half a fixture to one, not two. So don't do this. Your point. I'm trying to save you.
It came across. Thank you. I came across of it, and it's a good idea. But honestly, I do prefer Darwin over Gakpo. We discussed it earlier. Darwin feels more safe when it comes to starts. I wouldn't be surprised to see in game 2 within this game week to see Nunez on the left and the center Firmino or even Jota. So I feel that Darwin has better expected minutes. He's a bit more selfish, which is good for FPL. He takes shots, not
which
good
is
shots,
bad for FPL.
Shots, so.
Yeah.
He takes shots, but so I feel Darwin, and also again I go back to structure. So when I did Gakpo and Trent, like you suggested, it's going to be extremely difficult to jump on Mitoma and Tony and an extra Brighton player because I already have Sanchez as a goalkeeper from Brighton. Those are my thoughts. I absolutely agree with your suggestion. I really like it. It's just structurally doesn't work well, and you have to. It's not in a vacuum anymore, and this is when the players who are engaged kind of pass the casuals, because you don't make transfers in a vacuum anymore. You just need to decide chip strategies and plan 4 or 5 game weeks ahead, because this is when you get ahead.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
For the moment I said it, I kind of knew what you were going to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that simple. You know, I have basically a script of like, don't forget to dump on Salah. Don't forget to dump on Nunez. Is Doc going to bring in Nunez? Tell him no. Like, it's already like pre-written out. It was a great script.
I can automate you now, yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, everybody. Let us know what are your transfers, how many hits you're taking down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's free. Just press that subscription button. We've been doing this for over a year now, and we're enjoying it. Like I said, I enjoy it personally because I articulate my thoughts and I discover a lot, especially with the way that Joe's brain functions is the opposite of how my brain functions. And sometimes he brings me back down to earth, and other times I bring him back down to earth. And this is the perfect dynamic for our channel. Joe, would you like to say goodbye to our audience?
Yeah. So everybody, if you are looking to bring in Salah, that's okay. You can bring in Salah. If you're looking to bring in Darwin, seek medical attention. Please talk to a therapist. Anything, just don't do it. Just please don't do it. Otherwise, probably shouldn't pop your free hit. but a lot of people are because they have like 2 or 3 positions. Listen, there's people out there taking negative 40s, it feels like. So you're not in a bad position. Just don't put yourself in a bad position, please. Thank you for watching. Till next time, everybody. Hopefully, double game week 25 and blank game week 25 is kind to us. Let's get these points, everyone.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode.